Welcome back, guys. You're watching Entrepreneur, and in this video we're going to continue the series on how to day trade on Binance, a bit of a beginner series showing you guys step-by-step process of how to go through and learn how to day trade consistently every single day using the Binance exchange, which is the most popular exchange for the most part. So I just want to give a quick rundown. If you missed the first video, I would suggest go back and watch that. It's actually in the playlist on our channel, or you can just find the first video. In that video, we basically went through how to identify quality projects to trade on a consistent basis, projects that have a profitability margin that will allow you to make anywhere from 2.5 to 10% per day trading those coins. So one thing that a lot of people don't know is that different coins have different profit margins based on their market cap and their price points. So in that video, we really went through and diagnosed what coins you guys want to be trading. Now, if you don't want to go back and watch that video, that's okay. In the first link of the description of this video, I will have the top 17 cryptos to day trade for 2018. That's just a little list you guys can get for free, so you guys don't have to really go through that video. You can skip the process, and you already have 17 cryptocurrencies, quality projects for the long term that you can day trade on a consistent basis with good profitability margins. But now that we have that out of the way, go back and watch that if you want. But in this video, I want to diagnose technical analysis and how do we know when is a good time to buy and when is a good time to sell. Okay, so what we're going to be using is TradingView. Now, if you guys don't know what TradingView is, it's a charting platform with a ton of different features, So I'm actually probably going to be starting a series going over everything that TradingView has to offer pretty soon. But for those of you guys who have not used TradingView before, there'll be a link somewhere in the description for a link to TradingView if you guys want to check it out. But TradingView is what we use. So right now on the screen, you guys probably are a bit overwhelmed by all the different things. We got red lines, blue lines, purple lines, all types of lines, even pink lines. So what is all this and what does it all mean, right? So these indicators are all used in conjunction to give me a better idea of when to buy something and when to sell something. So let's actually try to minimize some of these things and focus on some of the fundamentals first. So first off, technical analysis is all about finding trends, finding patterns, and trying to predict where the price of an asset is going to move, right? So something I like to focus on is momentum. I'm really a momentum trader. I have been since I started trading stocks in 11th grade a few years ago. And since then, I've really honed in on my strategy of knowing when to buy and knowing when to sell using simple techniques of identifying good momentum. So there's two intervals that we're going to be using for day trading. And you can see here I have them favorited. I like to swing trade a lot, so that's why I had the 4 hour and the 1 day. But for day trading, you're going to want to focus on the 5 minute and 1 hour time intervals. Now, that's the first place we're going to start. So the time interval is really going to allow you to trade with quick trades. These time intervals are going to be day trades specifically, and they're going to be trades that don't last as long as some other trades would, possibly on the 4 hour time interval or the 1 day time interval. Now, if you guys don't understand this all, don't worry. You just need to understand that you want to be using the 5 minute time interval and the 1 hour time interval. So now that we have that selected, now we really need to get into all the different indicators that we're going to be using, right? So to start off, I want to start off with some of the simple indicators like the RSI and the MACD. So in order to get these up, why don't we just X them out here, and you're just going to come up here to the top, select indicators, go into the search bar and type in the RSI. Actually, I'll type in MACD first. Type in the MACD and then erase that and type in RSI. And you're just going to want to choose the relative strength index. So now that you have both of those selected, those are the first two indicators that we're going to have up here. And these are really the most important indicators in my eyes. Maybe they're not the most important, but they definitely have a pretty large emphasis on the trading strategy. So starting off with the RSI, just going to bring this up on the full screen. What you want to look for is an oversold signal. Now, what is an oversold signal, right? So you see on the RSI, we have a purple line, and then we have a purple shaded area, and then we have a top area that is not shaded, and as well as a bottom area that's not shaded either. So we want to focus on this purple line, okay? Now this purple line fluctuates between this purple shaded area, sometimes goes above the shaded area, and sometimes even goes below the shaded area. Now, what we want to focus on when we're buying, we want to focus on when this purple line goes below the shaded area, okay? Now, why is that, right? The RSI basically determines the overall momentum and takes into account the buyer side and seller side momentum on the specific time interval. So what it's going to tell you is when the purple line gets below, it's going to basically tell you this asset is currently more on the oversold side. So what does the oversold side really mean? That just means basically sellers have been selling it like crazy, and pretty soon they're going to run out of momentum, and normally the buyer side will start to increase and start to buy back. Now, you said you heard me say normally. All the time, it does not mean that buyers are just going to swoop in here and start buying just because it's oversold. That just means, rule of thumb, if it's below the shaded area, generally it is more oversold than normal, and normally buyers will start to buy in here. Now, there's other techniques that we need to use to make sure that the price is going to rise from the point that we buy at, that we'll get into a little later, but just know that we want to be buying when it is under this purple shaded area, signaling that it is oversold. And as you can see, as we scroll back, there's not a ton of opportunities, but once we learn how to take advantage of these opportunities really well, we'll be able to capitalize on them and get a pretty large percentage gain off of each and every opportunity that we do take advantage of. So that is the RSI. Like I said, allows you to kind of determine whether it's oversold or overbought. And just a quick rule of thumb, just like it's when it's below the shaded area, it's oversold. If it's above the shaded area, it's generally overbought. So more of a better time to probably sell at a profit, unless you feel that for some reason it's going to continue to climb higher. Now let's get into the MACD. That is another pretty general indicator that I love to use, and also allows you to kind of determine the overall momentum of an asset and where the price is most likely going to go. So you can see on the MACD, we have a blue line as well as an orange line. Then we have this middle area with these different like pink lines, right? They go up and down. They seem to fall on a middle line right at 0. So starting off with these pink lines, the pink lines basically tell you which way the volume is most heavy. So what I mean by most heavy is it's more than the other side. So when the pink lines are pointing to the downside, that means there is more seller volume. And when the pink lines are pointing towards the upside, that means there is more buyer volume. So you can generally, a rule of thumb, know that there's more momentum towards the buyer side if the pink lines are pointing up, and if it's going towards the downside, you can generally know that sellers are currently selling more than the buyers are buying. So we're going to use that in conjunction with these two lines. So the blue line and the orange line, they're moving averages. So the one is a 12-day moving average, one is a 26-day moving average. The 12-day is the blue line, the 26 is the orange line. And what we're going to use those for is to identify the trend and momentum. So how do we do that? We basically identify the crosses in these two lines that will allow us to know when something is having more momentum towards the downside or towards the upside. So what you want to look out for, you don't really need to know all the fine details on what is a moving average and everything like that. We'll have other videos on the channel that will diagnose that in the future. But what you need to know is when the blue line crosses up and over the orange line. So when the 12-day moving average crosses up and over the 26-day moving average, that is a bullish signal. That shows bullish momentum towards the buyer side. And as you can see, right where it crosses, you start to get those buyer side pink candles shooting up. So it's showing that buyer side momentum. And if we actually come out here real quick, right where it's crossed, you can see right around here, it actually started to go up, and clearly there was not a ton of momentum, but the price still went up. So as you can see, that is kind of how the MACD works, and then vice versa. Let's say we thought the price was going to drop. Just take a look at the MACD. We see right here, the blue line crosses under and below the orange line, which is a bearish signal, right? And in conjunction with that, we see the pink candle start to go down, showing that there is a lot of seller volume here. And then when we line that up with the actual price, we can clearly see right where it crossed, we started to push down, and we went down from about 1360 all the way down to 13 flat. So as you can see, that is how we use the MACD, and using the MACD in conjunction with the RSI can be very powerful, because let's just say this. Let's say we get a signal that something is oversold, right at this point at 1300. Okay, we can then take a look at the MACD, wait for a cross, possibly enter there or even before that at a better price, and are able to get a very quick profit out of a little jump, right? So we could even just squeeze out, 0.6. Obviously that's not a ton, but in 10 minutes, it's not bad at all. Of course, this is a smaller term trade. It didn't really rise that much, kind of got shut down by the 200-day moving average, which is something else we'll get into eventually. But clearly that was not the best trade, but still an example of the fundamentals of the trades that we're looking out for. Now, of course, we don't want to be just shooting for 0.81% every time. So we're going to have other rules that we build into our trading strategy that, of course, we'll get into as we continue to talk about this. But that is basically the two beginner indicators that you need to be using. Now, I have other indicators on here. I have, as you can see, a light blue line, a dark blue line, a red line. Unfortunately, you guys will not be able to have all of these different indicators on at once if you do not have a upgraded version of TradingView. So if you want to get that upgraded version, you'll have to check that out and decide if you want to. But I actually include all of my signals that for my own trades in our Investors Elite private trading group. So if you guys want to check that out, there will be a link to that down in the description. But anyway, let's continue on with this this part of the video. So like I said, we're going to be entering in when it's oversold on the RSI, and then allowing that MACD to show us the volume. And this will kind of allow us to know if we want to stay in the trade or not, or at what point we want to, back out. And generally, when you want to sell when the MACD starts to curve down, and you can see that momentum's starting to fall, right? So that is basically what you want to look at for the 5 minute, and then for the 1 hour. Overall, I use the 1 hour more so to be able to know in the medium term where is the momentum of the specific asset going, because as you can see, we're trading in the 5 minutes. So this is a very small window of time. So you want to always have a longer term chart to be able to know is the asset currently moving up in the medium to long term when we're trading in the short term. Okay, so that's what I use the 1 hour for, to kind of judge the MACD as well as the overall momentum and volume. Is it moving up in the medium to long term, or is it going down, or what's really happening? So those are the two time intervals you guys want to focus on, as well as the different things you want to look out for. In the next video, we're going to get into exactly how we know when to buy using things that are actually native to Binance, like the order book and everything like that. That is very helpful when it comes down to it. But for those of you guys who do not want to, you want to really get started now, if you guys want to learn my A to Z strategy on trading cryptocurrency and becoming a full-time trader, whether that's swing trader or day trader, check out the Entrepreneur Investors course, which will be a link in the description as well. Or like I said, if you guys want to join our private trading group, you can check out the Investors Elite group, where we give out our signals every single day. So one thing I did not mention is with the RSI, when it goes below 30, you can actually set alerts on TradingView to alert you when it goes below 30. So all you have to do here is run over to the RSI, you hit that plus button, add alert, and then it will add it right here. You go to the setting tab, you just highlight it as 30. So now it's going to alert you when the price of the asset goes below 30 RSI, showing you that it is oversold. Unfortunately, like I said, if you have a free plan on TradingView, you will not be able to do more than one of these alerts, but at least you can do one if you want to focus on one coin at a time to trade. But like I said, if you guys want to get all the alerts, for all the different quality coins that I trade, we give those out in our Investors Elite trading group. As you can see right here, we gave out some alerts yesterday. Traded VET Cardano for the past few days. So if you guys want to get in on that, you can go and check out Investors Elite in the description. But if not, continue on with the series. If you guys are watching this right when this comes out, tomorrow we'll be doing a video on showing you guys the complete strategy, A to Z, how we identify a coin every day, how we do our technical analysis, and then how we actually use the order book as well as some other features on Binance to actually enter our trades, exit our trades, and set our stop losses as well. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for the next video, which will be dropping tomorrow, and hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one, guys.